Continue recording. Okay, going back. So, a while ago, our Zoom ended. So now let's go back into our graphing business. So we were able to identify our center already, and that's our origin, 0, 0. And we also got our A and B. Now, I'm asking you, since A is together or just below our x squared, where do you think should I go? It's positive. Kasi positive, negative naman yan. Should I go up or should I go left or right? Should I go vertically or horizontally? Type your answer in the chat box, please. Type your answer in the chat box, please. Where should I step from my origin in terms of A? Horizontally. Very good. Simply because it's with it's with x squared. So I will now be stepping 3 steps left and right. So we have 1, 2, 3. That's my first point. Let me make it thicker. Okay, let me 1, 2, 3 there. That's my first point. And then another one, 1, 2, 3 to the left. And that's my second point. Okay, since this is horizontal transverse axis, these are your vertices now. Okay, so you can imagine that your hyperbola will be passing through this and that. Okay, but actually it's too early for us to draw our hyperbola because our parts are still incomplete. Okay, let's move on now first with letter B. B, since it's together with our y squared, definitely our movement will be up and down from our center. So that's 4 steps from the center. We have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and then 4 steps here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. So the next thing to do now is, of course, identify the points. So for we can identify the points here by this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, and then in here naman -3, 0. The other one naman, this is 0 in the x, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 0 in the x, and then -4. Okay, that's it. Now, next thing to do is this. Please take note of this. So we already now have the vertices. Our green points are our vertices because it's horizontal. And we also have the blue points, which are our co-vertices. So the next thing to do is to draw a box connecting all these points. Ayan. So from here, let me use this color brown. I will make a box. I hope you can see it. Okay, there. Just make a box connecting all these points, not diamond, but a box. It could be a square or a rectangle. In this case, it will become rectangle simply because A and B are different. But if A and B are the same, then we can form a square. But if they are not, since in our given they are not the same, we will be forming a rectangle. Okay, why are we doing this box? Because this is a very important part of our process, because from here we will be able to make or draw our asymptotes. There you go. Okay, next thing to do is to do the asymptotes. Okay, for the asymptotes nan, we will consider these points. Let me make it thicker. These points of intersections there. And from here, we will be drawing our asymptotes. Let's try this. Asymptotes. I hope you're also doing the same thing with me in your notebook. And since this is an asymptote, Let's put some broken lines. Broken lines to connect these points. Okay, take note of this. This will serve as your asymptote, and this will guide you in the drawing or in the graphing of your hyperbola later. Ayan. I am not much of into solving part. Mas gusto ko yung application part na agad. Do the same thing to the other one. That will serve as your asymptote. So always remember in the hyperbola, you have two asymptotes. So in here, we have this broken lines, broken lines. Just continue drawing those broken lines. I hope you're also doing the same thing in your notebook. Ayan. There you go. Can you now imagine our asymptotes? Okay. Now let's move on. The next thing to do is this. Where are we now? Are we done now with that? After getting that, horizontal. Okay, standard form. This is just another given. Tapos na yon. Next, eto na. Asymptote, latus rectum, and the foci of the hyperbola. Okay, now, of course, after drawing this part, kasi this is the first part of our graph, you need to first graph your A, B, identify your vertices and your asymptote. And now let's just make it formal by identifying the equation of our asymptote. And we will be following a formula, which is this. Y is equal to positive, negative, B over A x. And this will serve as your equation for the asymptote. Asymptote. Ayan. So the formula is Y is equal to positive, negative B over A x. So we have, just substitute our B and A. So we have here, Y is equal to positive, negative, B is 4 over 3x. And if you will remember, if you can remember, this is actually the formula for the slope of a line. Are you familiar with the slope of a line? The Y is equal to mx plus b. That was your lesson in grade 8. Ayan. So, to check if we were able to draw the correct asymptote using this formula, always remember, this is your rise and this is your run. I hope you can still remember that from your lessons in grade 8. The rise over run, the slope. Tingnan natin. This is just to verify. So you have, if you will express this, actually there are two lines here. This is Y is equal to the positive one, the 4 over 3x. So if it's a positive slope, it's leaning to the right. And we also have another one, the Y is equal to negative 4 over 3x. It's a negative slope, so therefore it's leaning to the left. Let's just check. So actually, this is just like what I tell you, this is our rise, our numerator is the rise, and this is the run. So from our point or any point where there is the intersection, let's just count. The rise, it's 4. Up, it's positive. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4. That's for the rise. Okay. And then from here, run, it's positive. So therefore, it goes to the right. 1, 2, 3. There. So therefore, this is the equation for y, or for the asymptote, y is equal to 4 over 3x. Let's now verify the other asymptote. It's negative 4 over 3. Okay, so negative 4 from here. Let's just try the center going to this point. From here, from this point going to that point. Ready? Let's count. -4, -4, -4, rise. So therefore, if it's negative, it's going down. So from here, let's count 4 steps down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's -4. Kasi it's negative, it's going down. Okay, and then from here, it's 3. It's going to the right. So therefore, that's 1, 1, 2, 3. That's +3. Okay, so therefore, we can say that this is y is equal to -4/3x. And that's how we identify the equation of the asymptotes. Got it? Kindly show a reaction as to your understanding in that part, the equation of the asymptote. Got it? I hope you can recall. Kaya yan. That's just one of your grade 8 lessons. Slope. Try nyong balikan. Try to recall the y is equal to mx plus b. I hope you're familiar with this equation. This is the slope-intercept form. Try nyong hanapin sa internet. Slope-intercept form. Ayan. Slope-intercept yung y is equal to mx plus b. Dito galing yon. Ito lang yung focus natin. This one. Y is equal to mx. Okay? Got it? Okay, let me remove this. These are not necessary anymore. Okay, so that's it for the equation of our asymptote. Let's now move on with the length of the latus rectum. Ready? Latus rectum is, of course, before we identify the latus rectum, let's first identify the C. C muna tayo. Okay? Dito tayo sa side na to. Okay, so for the C, if you can recall, sir, sa SA po ba, need lahat makita yan? Yes, needed lahat ng ito. Okay, let's continue. So, if you will go back to our ellipse, pasensya na ha, I always go back to the ellipse kasi this is always the foundation of the hyperbola. In the ellipse, meron tayong if A is greater than B and B is greater than A. Tama? That's in identifying your C. And the formula for C is what? If, for example, if A is greater than B, di ba? Always remember, nauuna lagi yung greater. So that is A squared. A squared, is it plus or minus? In the ellipse, this is about ellipse, huh? In the ellipse, to get your C, the formula should be, is it plus? Try to recall. In finding your C, is it plus? It's minus. Kasi di ba, kaya nga merong dapat mauuna lagi yung greater kasi the answer should be positive or else your answer will be imaginary. Math error ang lalabas. So therefore, we have here A squared minus B squared. Or if if B is greater than A naman, that becomes C is equal to the square root of B squared minus A squared. That is for the ellipse. But for the hyperbola, it's the opposite operation. And what is that? To identify your C, you should need or you should be using C is equal to the square root of A squared plus B squared. So in the hyperbola, you need not to worry which is bigger kasi we are using addition. Okay? Now, let's continue. Let's solve for C. If A is 3 and B is 4. Sige nga. If A is 3 and B is 4. Sige nga, what's the value of C? Type it in the chat box, please. Type it in the chat box. What is the value of your C? Okay, the answers are now coming. The answer is, oh, is it 49? Some are typing 49. Always remember, don't forget to get the square root. Saan galing yung 49? 7. Oh, let's see. Tingnan natin which is the correct one. Nag-aaway yung mga sagot ng mga classmates natin. So 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared is 16. 9 plus 16, the answer is 25. Saan galing yung 49? So the square root of 25 is positive and negative 5. That's your C. Right? Ayun, 5 po. That's it. Hindi siya 2.65. Di ko alam saan galing yung 2.65. So the answer is 5. So what will we do next from C is to count. That becomes your foci. So we need to count 5 steps from the origin. So let me use FURFOL. So 5 steps from the origin or from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your focus. And then negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your another focus. Okay? And now, finally, for the length of the latus rectum. Last na siguro yon. Nakalam ko, pinakahuli na yon. The length of the latus rectum. Okay? Hindi pa tapos yung drawing natin, ha? The latus rectum tayo. For the length of the latus rectum, we have this formula. 2b squared. Ayan. We have 2b squared over a. So this is the length of the latus rectum. So let me just use LLR na lang, no? LLR. Length of latus rectum. So we have LLR is equal to, we have 2b squared over a. So we have 2 times, what's our b? Our b is 4. 4 squared over our a is 3. A is 3. And then that's our LLR. LLR is equal to 4 squared. Sige nga, what's the answer here? 2 times 4 squared over 3. Type the answer in the chat box. Solve with me. What is the answer? 10.67? 32? Ano kaya ang tamang sagot? 16 times, 4 squared is 16. 16 times, so that's 32. 32 divided by 3, the answer is 32 divided by 3 equals 10.67. Ayun, no, tama. So that is 10.67. 10.67. So this is our length of the latus rectum. So divided by 2. 10.67 divided by 2. Divide this by 2 kasi we need to do something here. Bakit kailangan natin i-divide by 2? Sige nga, 10.67 divided by 2. What's the answer? Type it in the chat box, please. That's 5.33. Okay, take note of this. That's 5.33. When we add this, this will be our length of the latus rectum. Okay, how will we use that 5.33? Let's now go back to our graph. Okay, let me use blue. Okay. Kaya red na lang. Okay. It's 5.33, right? So from your focus, everybody listen, from your focus, you need to count 5.33 up and 5.33 down. So when you add these two, it will be the whole length of your latus rectum. That's the reason why we divided it by 2. So 5.33, let's count. Go. Nakakakarog, nakakatakot. Aabot kaya doon sa asymptote? Lalampas kaya siya doon? Or hindi? Basta tandaan, bawal lumampas ang latus rectum or ang graph dito. Let's now do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.33, somewhere there, 1/3. There you go. Let me verify. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.33. That's it. Let's do the same thing here below. Lipat kayo dito. Ayan, kasi I need that space. Okay. So let's now move it here. 5.3 below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.33 here. Somewhere there. And so all we need to do now is to do the same thing on the other side. 5.33, it's right here. So good thing hindi siya lumampas ng asymptote. Remember, if it passes through or it goes beyond the asymptote, your solution is wrong. Kasi the asymptote, the hyperbola should not pass through the asymptote. It's bawal. Take note of that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.33, it's here. Okay. Now that we have those parts, by the way, don't forget to draw a line kasi kailangan ma-emphasize din natin yung ating latus rectum. The length of the latus rectum. There. Okay. Let me just draw something here. Let me make it a little thinner. There's my latus rectum. And then the other side here, there is my other latus rectum. Now, we are done. Finally, we are now moving on to the most exciting part. And that is by drawing our hyperbola. Get ready. So finally, after doing all those solutions, we are down to our graph. Everybody take note of this. This is how we graph our hyperbola. So the reason why we had our focus and our latus rectum, that's for us, that's our guide for the illustration of our hyperbola. So we always start from these first 3 points. Let's make a curve connecting all these 3 points. Ready? So from here, do it gently, passing through your vertex, going to your latus rectum. Oops. Do the same thing here. Not yet finished. This is just the introductory part of your graph. So from here, do it gently. Make a curve. Hopefully, it's a beautiful curve. Sorry. Hindi siya maganda. When you're using your paper, mas madali siyang gawin. There. Lumampas siya doon. Sakto lang dapat. Sakto lang siya doon. Bad trip. Sorry. I cannot do it properly. There you go, finally. And then, the next thing to do after connecting your latus rectum and your vertices, forming a curve, the next thing to do is to continue your hyperbola, but make sure never do like that. Bawal lumampas sa asymptote. Okay? At bawal ding sumakto na dumadaan siya doon. Bawal ding dumikit na dumikit doon. It's wrong. That's wrong. So what does the asymptote do? It prevents you from passing through that line. So therefore, it may go near, but it should never touch the asymptote. Okay, there. And then you put an arrow there. Similarly here, it may go near, but it should never touch. It may go, it may approach it, but never touch. It may approach it, but never touch. And that is the illustration of our hyperbola. By the way, don't forget that the length of this latus rectum, this is 10.67 in length. which was done by dividing it by 2. And that's it. That's how we graph our hyperbola. Show a reaction, please, based on how you understood the process. Got it? Kaya? Okay. It looks, actually, it's just very easy. Just that it's just lengthy in a way kasi marami lang siyang isosolve na part. You still need to solve for the equation of your asymptote, which actually very easy to do after identifying your A and B and graphing them. C is also very easy to do. Get the square root of the sum of the A squared and B squared. And then length of latus rectum, after solving it, divide it by 2 and then graph. That's it. As simple as that. It only took us a while kasi there is an additional process that we need to do. But actually, it's just very easy. Got it? Do you have any question or concern regarding the process? Okay. So, that's it. Sasabog na po ang utak ko. Joke lang. Okay, kaya yan. Huwag niyong pasabugin. Carry lang yan. Okay? So, see, that's just the process. Change it to standard form. Find your A and B. Find the vertices. Now, in my case, instead of doing this, I prefer graphing. Tapos, find the points. Pero, if you feel like doing this formula, it's not also a problem. Do what your heart says. Okay, and then get the foci. There's the foci. And then after getting the foci, get the equation of your asymptote, which is already drawn by doing that rectangle there. Length of the latus rectum, and boom, you're done. Vertices and the co-vertices, we know we got them already. Ayun. And that's finished. Hyperbola with a horizontal, graphing. Graphing, we're done with this. Oh, yan, no? Okay, very easy. We're done with that. What else? Let me just see. Graphing, we're done with this. And we're done. Oh, no. We are now done. Do you have any other question or concern? Shall we, do you want to have another example? Or we're okay now with this one? Okay, one more example po. Okay, show a reaction of agreement if you want another example, please. Let me see. Okay, no problem. Okay, good. So, time check, it's just 10 minutes left. Okay. So, ganito. This is about to end after 10 minutes, but this is what we'll do. I will give you a given, and then I want you to try it on your own first. Is that okay with you? After trying it on your own, we will be solving it together later and see if you also got the same correct process. Okay? Is that okay with you? Ito yung may but 4, 5, 6. Okay. Yung may HK naman po. Okay. Sure. Special request. Sir, yung pong may HK. Let me see. Ito. Look at this. This equation will lead us to a 0, 0 center. It will lead us to a HK value. Okay, let's do this. Okay, parang gusto kong pagsamahin si 1 at saka si 2. Ready? Okay, pagsasamahin ko ang dalawang ito. So we have graph. Graph this. We have 4 times the quantity of x plus 3 and of quantity squared minus, if that's minus, it's very clear that's already hyperbola. Minus 25 times y minus 4 and of quantity squared is equal to 100. Combining our, let's try this number 3 examples, 1 and 2. Ready. I will also be making a link, a Padlet link. And after doing your thing, your solution, I would like to request you to post the picture of your solution and your graph in that Padlet link. Okay? So everybody, spend this time solving and graphing for this hyperbola. Time starts now. Go. Okay, I will now be posting the Padlet link in our chat box. There, kindly access that Padlet link. And in this link, kindly post a photo of your solution and graph for this given. Okay? Don't forget to type your name and your section, huh? I want to see your solutions posted in this Padlet link. Okay? Do it. Just simply follow the process. This will end na in a minute. Kindly join again after the end of this link. Okay?